Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his girlfriend got engaged. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. 2 years ago, I, 30 male, met Sarah, 26, on Facebook. We became friends and soon turned into best friends. We lived in different states, but we made it work by taking turns to travel to meet each other. We both had different partners over the years, but somehow we kept losing them. Then, during one of our meetups, Sarah told me that she believed we were made for each other, and that was why we never had successful relationships. I had fallen for her, and that was the perfect opportunity to work on it. We started dating. The long distance between us was an issue, but we kept on pushing. 2 weeks ago, I had to go to her state for a business meeting, and when I was done in the evening, I went to her house. We had missed each other, and we had a lot to catch up on. After an early dinner, we were having a good time on the couch, but something came up, so she left to attend to it quickly. Fortunately, she forgot her phone. While I was trying to open it to quell my boredom, a message came in. I couldn't see it in full, but the little part I saw was a congratulatory message for her engagement. I felt my world turn upside down, but I told myself that it could be a misunderstanding. Maybe she had lied to the sender that she got engaged. I refrained from thinking the worst until I confronted her. She returned, and I asked her what the message was about. She apologized profusely for getting engaged while we were together. I asked her why she didn't tell me she had found someone. She told me she didn't find him, that he had always been around, wooing her. Immediately I realized who it was, and I felt more angry. She had always told me about the guy at work who had been trying to go out with her, and every time she would laugh and tell me it was an impossible mission. I asked her why she lied to me and strung me. She told me she didn't want to spoil what we had together. She told me she liked me a lot, but only as a friend, and that she realized it 2 months into our relationship, but I was head over heels for her. She was so honest that it broke my heart. If she had spoken up earlier, I would have understood. But no, she hid it and strung me along for over a year. She continued begging me, so I pretended to understand. I hugged her and lied that I was happy she had found happiness. She was happy and begged me to keep our relationship a secret. After I agreed, she suggested we spend the night together as lovers for the last time. I accepted. At midnight, when she was fast asleep, I took some selfies of us in bed. It wasn't revealing, but our tousled hair and the bliss on her sleepy face showed that we spent the night together. The next day, she escorted me to board a bus, and when we were about to part ways, I told her to post her new relationship status on Facebook. That I was okay with it. She was happy and relieved, and she hugged me and thanked me. I urged her to do it now, and she did. I hugged her and bid her farewell before leaving. While on the bus, I checked her profile and saw who she got engaged to, and I sent him a message immediately. I told him I had a good time with his fiance the previous night, and I accompanied the text with the picture I took. After a while, he asked me who I was, and I told him to ask his fiance. After that, I blocked him, switched off my phone, and took a nap. Later, I got home, switched on my phone, and immediately Sarah's call came in. She was crying and asking me why I did this to her. She called me a douchebag for reneging on my promise to keep our relationship a secret. She told me her fiance had broken up with her and was threatening to tell everyone she was two-timing him. I allowed her to call me all the names she wanted, and when she was done, I told her to go and thank her stars. I let her go like this. When she began to call me names again, I hung up on her and blocked her. That's where I'm at now. I'm a mess and I feel completely drained. So help me, strangers. How do I get over this heartbreak? I'm sorry this happened to you, OP. Your ex's excuse sucks. She could have broken things off with you when she realized that she wasn't in love with you, but she didn't. She was obviously stringing you and her ex-fiance along. She was two-timing to make sure in the end she ended up with one of you, but unfortunately for her, she ended up with neither one of you, and it serves her right. Time will help you with the heartbreak, OP. With time, you'll remember her less. And eventually, you'll just laugh or smile about the whole event. Get busy and live a good life. Good luck, OP. Story 2. I'm 19 male, she's 18, been together for 15 months. I cheated on her about 2 months into the relationship when we barely knew each other and I was about to end it anyway. Not entirely sure where to start, but me and my girlfriend have been together for a bit now. For both of us, this is our first serious long-term relationship. We haven't had the easiest relationship due to her parents being insane and not letting us see each other ever, except for a few hours on the weekends occasionally, and we have to stay at their house, in one room, and can never go and do anything, not even walk down the street to McDonald's. Despite all this, we are very deeply in love and text each other constantly to make up for not seeing each other and telling each other everything, and are very loving and caring and close. We might be stupid or too young or whatever, but have it set in our minds that we will get married someday. Not soon, but when it makes sense. And we've talked about spending our lives together and kids, and are committed to being together for the rest of our lives. As I said, we might be young and stupid, but so far, I don't see myself missing anything or regretting anything down the road. But who knows? It's hard for me to just get to the point without attempting to give an idea as to why this is so devastating to me. Because some might see it as not a big deal. But when I factor in all of the things we've talked about, how close we are and everything she's promised, it means a lot more than a simple mistake. So I apologize to anyone who thinks I'm writing too much bullshit, but I feel like it's better to be thorough than vague. Basically, for our entire relationship, whenever I would worry, she would always reassure me that I was the one for her, that no guy could ever even come close, that nobody would ever be able to do anything because she would never let it happen, that she would never hurt me ever in her life, that she would always be faithful and she could never even imagine doing anything with any other guy ever. She made me so sure that she was telling the truth and that I could really trust her. She seemed like she sincerely meant it, and I could believe her to be telling the truth. So I did. I believed her, and I consider myself lucky as F, that I had an amazing girlfriend who would never hurt me and never cheat on me. That she was different than all those other girls who did shit like that. I even bragged a little to my close friends about how lucky I felt to have such an amazing girl. I may as well get to the point, and if there are any questions, I could just answer them or whatever if I miss something important or anyone is curious about whatever. Okay, so my girlfriend works at the movie theaters in the town I'm from. Currently, I'm attending college 45 minutes away. So last Thursday night, she was going to attend the Thor preview or whatever at night, because they have that for the employees. When she told me about this, she said something along the lines of, "By the way, I'm not going to text you I'm going to the premiere tonight." And instantly, I got a bad feeling. Call me paranoid or whatever, I don't know. But it was because she always texts me during movies. So it threw me off. Why didn't she want to text me this time? What was different? So I got a little upset and started asking her why she didn't want to text. And she claimed she wanted to pay attention to the movie. As far as I know, she has no outstanding interest in superheroes. I don't think she ever heard of Thor before the movie came out, so I was kind of confused. I was like, well, are you just going to not text me at all or just not as much? And this sort of went back and forth, and I admit, of course, that I was being irritated, but I just couldn't shake this stupid bad feeling that something was wrong. So eventually she calls me on the phone when she's about to go to the movie theater, and we're talking and it sort of gets a little heated. And she gets mad as to why I'm questioning her, and I was just telling her that I felt weird about this and that I don't understand why out of nowhere she just wanted to ignore me. One reason it got to me is that she never mentioned the premiere before, and it came out of nowhere. And her parents are crazy, so it had to have been planned. She just didn't bother telling me or something, so once again, it added to my bad feeling. She tends to cry a lot, so when she was frustrated, she started crying. And she was at work, so it was probably worse. She then hung up, and I was really upset. She told me not to do anything bad. I'm depressed and on medicine, and I'm having a lot of other issues in life at the moment. I told her I wouldn't. And then I told her I was sorry for everything and that I just really had this terrible feeling that something bad was going to happen to her or something. And that I was just not having a good night, day in general, and I was sorry, and that I hoped she enjoyed the movie. And that I would talk to her after, and that I loved her. And I asked her to please not hurt me. and I'm still not sure why, but that just popped in my head at the end. Time goes on, and at one point during the movie, she texted me that she loved me. After the movie, she texted me some sad faces and my name, and I didn't know what to think of it, so I replied with sad faces and a question mark. She replied that she did love me. This is common, so I replied with the same. Then she calls me, hysterically crying, and exclaims, "I didn't do anything, I swear." I asked her to calm down and tell me what happened. She then explains that her coworker, who she trusts and has been in a relationship with his girlfriend for over 4 years, which she constantly reminds me when I say I worry that he likes her, had asked her to leave the movie so he could talk to her about his girlfriend because she had hurt him. My girlfriend is sorta naive due to being sheltered by her parents, and followed him out of the theater, and they went to the break room for the employees. They were in there for 15 minutes, she claims, and he was mostly talking about how his girlfriend cheated on him and stuff. Then he apparently asked if I had cheated on her. She said yes, and briefly explained it. Then he came up to her and held her with one arm around her lower back, and one hand on her ass, and leaned in to kiss her, and she kissed him back, then they kissed again, and started making out with open-mouthed kissing and tongue. She claims it only lasted for 2 minutes, but I doubt it. She then said that she stopped, because she realized she was being stupid and just going to hurt me, and told him that she started to leave. He grabbed her and pulled her back and kissed her again and told her he would see her on Sunday. Next time they worked together, she then claimed she started crying just a little when she normally cries a lot for everything. She said the only reason she kissed him back was because she was scared. But she was at work and easily could have gotten away, or made enough noise for somebody to hear, and she had no reason to be scared up until that point, because it was her coworker who she was comfortable with. Also, she even told me, at one point I wanted to kiss him, so I did. So I don't know what to think. Another quick thing is that when they went up to the break room, he said he had written "I love you" over her name on the schedule, and that when they had first left to go talk, he had suggested they went to his car, and she didn't think anything of either of those things. Her story changed a million times. I already wrote way too much, and I honestly couldn't even explain it properly. When I confronted her about this, and while we were talking, she hung up multiple times and was suicidal, saying she wanted to kill herself and didn't deserve to live, for hurting me and didn't deserve me. Also might be important to note that I was calm during our conversations because I knew it was sensitive, so I wasn't provoking anything. OP, I'm sorry that you're confused. There's nothing worse than not knowing where you stand in a relationship. First, I think I would give credit to your girlfriend for owning up and telling you about her coworker. But then I would take that credit away because she keeps changing her story. She could be lying about something, maybe something more serious than groping and a kiss happened. Or maybe it didn't happen at all and she just wanted to provoke you. I don't know, but the fact that she keeps going over her story with different details seems very dodgy to me. Ask her again. Be very sensitive and ask her about what happened. If she gives you a different story again, let her go. Now for some comments. Walk away. Sorry to be simplistic when you're obviously hurting, but she cheated. Hell, you cheated. The relationship is doomed. Walk away. You are just too young to have to deal with issues of infidelity. The world's a large place full of honest people. Become one yourself, then find another. Don't waste your time with revenge. It's not that guy's job to maintain your relationship for you, and it isn't like he did anything illegal. I'm fairly sure your girlfriend knew in the back of her mind what was going on. Why would she plan on not texting you? It sounds like your girl made a huge mistake and she realizes it. If you're gonna forgive her, then you'll have to let this incident go and move on. If you keep dragging it back up, you will ruin your relationship. You're 19. Marriage shouldn't even be a consideration, especially on your part. Moving past that, she kissed another guy. She knew they were on some sort of date, especially if she didn't want to text you. Your whole mess is a kick in the nuts, but your nuts will become stronger from this. I don't know if you should be with her. I can't give that sort of advice to a total stranger. What I do know is that there's at least 250,000 chicks out there that will not go kissing other dudes and using the whole crying bullshit to work their way out of any fault. She'll do it again. Don't be attached if you end up poking her a few more times.